There he is. Bowzone live right at you. Enoch Cree Nation, boys and girls. Woo-wee.
In the Edmonton Bowzone, hunting season just started, and I just smoked a giant. Welcome to Bowzone Live. He is a giant.
Annihilator Broadheads and Scorpion Outdoors present Bowzone Live. Brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads, Scorpion Outdoors, PV Mart, Bronc Beer, Easton, Hoyt Archery, Hex, OK Tire, River Cree Resort and Casino, and Tacticam.
Welcome to Bowzone Live here on Wild TV. The general whitetail season in Alberta has come to an end. Tom Gazzola and Keith McDonald in studio. We saw you at the top there. Big smile on your face right now. Deep breaths, right, Keith?
Deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Successful end of season for you. Tell us about that beautiful buck that we saw at the top of the show.
Well, you seen the picture there. I mean, that tells it all. The excitement,
the emotion.
Yeah, like I was a wreck earlier that morning. I was ready to throw in the towel. I was dejected. I didn't want to be there anymore. But I persevered, and I know that in this game, all it takes is 5 seconds and the whole world changes.
We're going to see plenty more on that fantastic buck, but you mentioned perseverance. Perseverance pays off, especially in the Bowzone. And going into last night on our group chat for Bowzone Live, Louis DeBrusque reminded the hunters that, hey, on November 30th of last year, he was able to get a fantastic buck as well. I'll read it out. Passing the magic to you, to Jim Thompson. A last day buck last year. Congrats to all the Bowzone Live killers this year. Wow, some amazing deer. You know Louis, and the positive emotion that he sent to everyone, I think, paid off, and we'll find out more about that later in the show. But just to have that group camaraderie, what can you say about it, Keith?
Well, when you're sitting by yourself for days on end, it's kind of nice to break that up and talking to the people and hearing, they seen a big deer and we're talking to each other what's going on. Yep. If Radlin's working that afternoon, or if Grunton's working that afternoon, or if the deer are feeding early, we kind of talk. And so we kind of know, like, everybody kind of knows what's going on in their areas. So it's kind of a good breakup instead of just sitting there by yourself in your mind, right?
Oh, like you had to do for 90 hours. All right. Michelle Van Dam, one of our new hunters here on Bowzone Live. What can you tell us about this buck Michelle was able to take down?
That is an awesome buck. I mean, this is what we're after here in the Edmonton Bowzone, is those mature whitetails. I mean, if you can fool one of those guys, you've done something right.
Michelle did something right indeed. One other hunter to talk about is Zack Brown. We saw him last show. Zack with some success. What can you tell us about this scenario right here?
So it looks like it's hard to see what happened.
Right.
Zack could probably be the only guy to say.
Okay.
But the deer bolted, and I think there was not very much blood, so they're just kind of letting them. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, but it's the best thing to do, right?
We'll touch base with Zack as well as Gunther Tondelier and Ryan Kohler later on in the show. We've got a great show on the way, Keith. You're here in studio. Jim and Taylor Thompson, we'll catch up with them. Mike Bouchand, of course.
Yep.
Daryl Legg. And as you know, Keith, as well, all episodes of Bowzone Live can be found on the Wild TV app, along with all your favorite Wild TV shows. Be sure to get the app at wildtvplus.ca or the App Store. More on the way. Bowzone Live, Tom Gazzola, Keith McDonald, final episode of the season. Welcome back to Bowzone Live here on Wild TV. Tom Gazzola with Keith McDonald. Keith, we talked a little bit about it, but take us up into the stand the day before yesterday. You mentioned that you didn't really want to get in there, needed a little motivation. You were ready to pack it in almost. Tell us about that day before we get to the footage.
So earlier that morning, I was sitting in my stand and I had no luck.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen nothing. It rained on me a little bit. Ryan texted me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "No, I'm not okay." so I'm sitting there, and I kind of did a little piece about it. I thought, you know what, I'm going to show some emotion on this. This is how it really is.
Right.
It's not that easy, you know. So I did a little thing there, and the Sunday was going to be my last day. I was going to call it a quit. I was done. My mind was shot. My body, I was hungry. I was tired.
Yep.
But I knew if I push through, all it takes is 5 seconds, right? 5 seconds. So I pushed through. I went through. I totally threw my plan out the window of the 3 deer that I'm after. And I said, I'm going to go to a stand I set last year.
Okay.
Never been in there this year. I went in, and it happened.
All it takes is 5 seconds,
That's
like
it.
you said. Let's see this fantastic footage of Keith McDonald's deer.
I was on 2 target deer I had, giants. I was on them all fall. Snow fell, drifted up against where my stand was. They're not feeding there anymore. They shifted to the other side of the field, and there's about 10, 12 does in there every night, and there's 2 of my target deer are just running in that same spot, kind of feeding, following these feeding deer. We're gonna head in there right now. I got a ground blind and I got a stand. We're mixing southwest winds and north winds, so we're gonna set 2 sets for this one. I've been sitting in this stand for 10 days, basically alone, nobody to talk to, uncomfortable, freezing some days, rain. One day it's -5, the next day it's -20 when you get up. Like, it's up at 5 o'clock. It's a lot of fun. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of fun. But this is a tough game. Like, this is the reality of it. In the Edmonton Bowzone, these are some of the toughest animals to hunt in the world, these whitetails. It's a tough game. But you know, if it was easy, I guess everybody would do it. And it's not easy. 2 more days, 11 days of nothing can all change in 30 seconds or something. My heart's racing, boy. I just shot a buck. He went down right there. This morning I wanted to throw in the towel. People have been texting me all day asking me if I'm all right. I'm not all right. I wasn't all right. I was done. I was gonna quit. Oh, I persevered. He came running so quick. I managed to stop him 37 yards. I got him stopped. My shot was a little high, but that's all right. He went down. He's dead now. He died quickly. Bowzone Live, baby. Yeah, he's gone. Yes. There he is. Bowzone Live, right at you. Enoch Cree Nation, boys and girls. Woo-wee. You know, you work hard for this kind of stuff. All season setting stands, putting cameras. I got a lot of country I got to cover. People don't understand. It's 20 square miles here, and right now we're trying to get in a tree and hope that this deer decides to come by that tree. This is it, man. This is what we do it for.
I think that smile says it all. You still got that smile on your face. Fantastic buck there, Keith. And you're telling me you don't normally name your bucks, but this one's special, this one's different. Tell us why.
So I talk about how hard this hunt is and how hard it is to sit for 90 hours straight.
Yep.
But I have a good, one of my older cousins, he's like my brother. He's going to be going through the battle of his life this year. So I'm dedicating this deer. This deer's name is Pee-wee.
Pee-wee, a fantastic buck. We're thinking of your cousin as well. Well done, Keith. Great footage as always. Really like it, pal. Really like the emotion and the heart involved with that one. We're going to touch base coming up with Michelle Van Dam as well, who had some late season success. Michelle, a tremendous buck. She'll join us later on Bowzone Live. More with Tom Gazzola, Keith McDonald here on Wild TV. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola with Keith McDonald in studio. We saw Keith's awesome buck, and now we're going to see Michelle Van Dam's buck. She's been sending us footage every day. We've been cheering her on, and as it turns out, the day before the season ended, Michelle would have one more bit of footage to send it in to us to have a look. Let's get to it now.
Today is Monday, November 29th. I am on my way out to go track the buck that I shot last night. Shot was a little far back, so I left him for the night. The entire team has been nothing but supportive to help track him. So that being said, I am gonna take off, go meet with the landowner. We are gonna look together. I will keep you updated. Kind of lost, thought he went up the hill, but found another bed. Oh, there's blood trail right there. Scott found a drop of blood here and called me, and I came around. And he tried to make me sound like it was just a drop of blood, but it's my buck.
Wow. Holy smokes.
We found him without coyotes getting on him. 2021. Oh my gosh.
What a buck.
Yeah.
Wow. He is so heavy.
We actually got a photo of him too. Trail cam earlier in the year. He wasn't my target buck, but as soon as he popped out when I was videoing a little forky, I knew he was a shooter. Oh my gosh, am I so thankful. Right on. Oh, just smiles for weeks. I can't believe this is happening. Oh, thank the Lord. Awesome. I'm thrilled, over thrilled. I don't know what the word is. Super happy. This is my nicest whitetail buck with my bow.
All right, congratulations to Michelle Van Dam, who is joining us now. Michelle, how much relief when you saw the buck the next day, and how anxious were you the night before?
Hi, everyone. My gosh, I am actually still burnt out from the season itself and from that night, because all night I wasn't sleeping well, thinking of how many coyotes were on him through the night, or just hoping for a good outcome. So yeah, I didn't sleep very well at all. But
Keith?
Well, I know that sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is not go following your deer, right? But what you did there was the best move you could have made, obviously. How did you feel about not going in to look for him that evening?
It was really, really hard. I did want to keep pursuing it and trying to find him, because I actually heard coyotes twice, quite close, already howling when I was leaving, and it was really hard. There's so many different variables to make a successful kill, and I made an error, and we all do. We're not perfect, and it just you just have to then move forward and make the best decisions after that. So,
Yeah.
Michelle, that deer, had you come across it a few times already before? Did you already have some images of him?
I did, yeah. We had some trail camera photos of him in the spring, and then we also had some pictures or some videos of him feeding in the summertime, and some other trail camera pictures of him in the summertime as well. And then I got one photo of him, I want to say it was in beginning of November, but that was it. So I actually wasn't really anticipating on seeing him at all. And he had popped out actually while I was videoing that smaller buck. And I was kind of playing around with that smaller buck for a little while, and I actually had the camera going. And he popped out to my left at 50 yards, and he was licking a licking branch and sniffing a scrape. And so I panned over right away, and I didn't have my GoPro going. I think it died because I had it going on the smaller buck. But so I just took it from there, and he cut into the bush a little sooner than I wanted him to. So it was just last minute decisions, and that's where things just kind of went a little bit sideways for me. But yeah.
Yeah, hunter to hunter. Anything else for Michelle?
Well, I know how it is being a guide, like how hard it is to not look after that deer. And then, like you said, the trying to sleep that night. I mean, I imagine you probably didn't sleep. And then getting up and you're like full of emotion. You don't know if it's going to be a great morning or if you're going to be crying, right?
Yeah.
But I think you did a great job there, Michelle, on hanging back, and you did find your deer, and luckily you got yourself some meat in the freezer.
Yeah.
Michelle, congratulations. The footage you sent us all season long was fantastic, and just thanks again for everything you provided this year on Bowzone Live. There you go. There's Michelle Van Dam. Thank you.
Great job, Michelle.
Good job.
Yeah, I had a great time this year. Thank you, guys. It was
Awesome stuff. Thanks again, Michelle Van Dam. One more hunter we're going to touch base with is Zack Brown, who also had some success. Let's take a look.
Yep.
Well, guys, it's day 4, I think, in this tree stand. It's a cooler morning, which is good. I can hear them crunching when they come in, which is nice to get a heads up of where they're coming from. So. That was a pretty close call. That buck crossing the field, I did a little rattle. He got a little closer, rattled again, and he hit the bush line, but he must have picked up a hot doe scent, because then he walked away. 1 of 3 more days to go, so it's getting closer to the end for sure. Well, that was the second buck I rattled in. I'm pretty sure that was the same buck this morning that entered this woodlot. It looks mature. It's not a giant deer, but his main beams are heavy. He's got a little bit of mass. I would have probably shot that one, I think. Maybe. You gotta kind of read the vibes and see how it feels. That buck was chasing that doe. I don't think it was a shooter, but that's That's the kind of thing that can result in a doe running underneath your stand, and then there's the buck right there. Always gotta be watching. Wow. Happens fast. I looked behind me and he just came walking through. The old man, we've had pictures of this deer for years. Last year I had an encounter of him. He's not a great frame deer, he's old. It's such a cool looking deer. Wow, I'm still shaking, I can't even think. He bedded down for a bit after I hit him at like 60 yards and I'm watching him, and then he took back off. But he's walking really slow, so it's just a matter of time now. Now we gotta wait. Now we gotta wait. What a day.
Okay, so I jumped out of the stand in Strathcona County. I am done. I'm not going to hunt anymore in Strathcona County. It's November 30th. Zack shot a buck this morning. Gunther and Zack and I are going to go after it right now.
That's a little bit disappointing. That shot I made was kind of through the bushes. It didn't have a great shot at its vitals. I tucked it in there. Pretty sure we hit guts. We were hoping a bit of liver. We gave it over 6 hours. Come here and it looks like we bumped him. But yeah, a little disappointing. We were hoping to come here and find him, but he just still got some life left. So we're gonna back out and wait till morning. Yeah, obviously anticipation sucks, but you just gotta, when in doubt, back out, as they say. So stay tuned, to be continued.
Great footage there from Zack Brown.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. We saw Gunther Tondelier and Ryan Kohler joining him as well to help track down that buck, and they're joining us right now. Let's touch base with Zack. Zack, just your feeling right now after that one. It looked like bittersweet at the end there. Just give us a rundown of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started off pretty funky. The original tree stand I had planned, I go there, and unfortunately the tree stand pegs were stolen. So that kind of put a big dent in my day, and I thought, wow, that's kind of disturbed where I wanted to sit. And I hummed and I hawed, and I thought, you know what, there's a stand I really want to go sit. I haven't sat all year. Had some history with some bucks, but I never put much time into it because it was kind of like an afterthought. And I go there, as I'm on the way in, I bump some deer, I hear some grunting, so I knew right away this all kind of worked out. Had some deer come in right away as soon as I was in the stand, and as we see, eventually I had an opportunity at a buck. I was really focused on trying to get all the camera angles and get the camera stuff. I actually even drew down and then drew back again and shot. Yeah, I mean, I took the shot a little further back than I wanted, but it was kind of the only shot I had. And we went in there, looked for blood, not as much as I wanted. And so we backed back out, and we're gonna wait till morning. And it's disappointing. It's a new feeling for me because I've actually never shot at a buck before. So I was talking with Ryan and Gunther. They were able to console me a little bit. We're definitely optimistic that we'll find him in the morning. So.
Yeah,
Keith?
I think we got a good chance for sure. We're gonna find him. It was a decent hit, so he's bleeding hard out of one side, and we just decided to be careful about it and let him sit.
I like the positive attitude there. Keith, did you want to ask Zach of the boys anything?
Yeah, no, Zach, I see there he walked through your lane for the first, right before you shot, he walked right through your lane. That must have been a heartbreaker, but obviously we can't see the angle you see, and you did have a second shot.
Yeah, I mean, he walked through, and if I wasn't filming, obviously there's that time where you want to disconnect and just shoot, and I wanted to, but from the get-go, I wanted to get that shot, and I let back down because he was walking out of the camera angle, and I readjusted, then took the shot. But yeah, I had the lanes right. He just didn't stop, and I need to enunciate, be a little bit louder.
I think a lesson there is when a buck's running like that, you got to be loud, right? And his meh, whatever you call it, was just really like nice. It was meh, meh.
Well, you know what? The
So
same thing.
We've
Yeah, the
taught
same.
him to go meh a little louder.
Yeah, the same thing happened with my deer. I grunted 3 times. I was like, meh, meh, meh. And then he finally hit the brakes.
I needed you today. I needed you yelling. That's what I needed.
Okay, guys, we're going to catch up with you guys a little bit more later on in the show, so stay ready to go because we want to find out more, obviously, after what happened. All right, we teased the Thompsons earlier. Jim and Taylor, let's take a look at what they've been up to.
Well, sitting here this morning, had a decent buck come by. I don't know, close to Pope and Young. He's out a little far. He's on my downwind side. Hopefully we get ourselves a mid-morning shooter. Minus 23 Celsius this morning. It's still really cold out. It's our last cold day, looks like, to the end of the season.
What's the last 5 days here in the Bowzone? Really icy morning this morning. It's funny, yesterday it was minus 24 Celsius. And this morning it's like 0, -1, but we had a bunch of freezing rain, so I'll kind of give you a look at the ice here on my stand. It's melting a bit, but not yet. Pure ice. Just hope I don't have to stand up to shoot. Well, here it is, second last day of the season in the Bowzone. You'll see here we had an encounter with the buck we've been going after all season in this quarter. Lots of pictures of him and daylight too, but just always seemed to be at the stands that we weren't in. Sure enough, about 10 to 9, I did a rattle, and it wasn't 3-4 minutes later, Mitch seen from the field, he seen a buck coming. So the buck came and he crossed down into this valley, which is what we wanted. I was hoping he was going to walk through the valley, but he ended up kind of crossing to the north, and as he kind of came into this opening in the north, we could tell it was the big guy. Huge frame on that deer. We had him at 50-ish yards for probably almost 5 minutes, but I didn't have much of a shooting lane at all. I had a little lane and I was hoping he would cross by, and he started getting a little nervous after about 5 minutes. I did some grunts and bleeds, but he was looking for that doe, but he kind of got nervous, so we started angling away. So I had a small window I knew would be tight, so I drew back and I shot at him, but I hit a pretty big branch, probably 10 feet from the stand here, and as you can see in the video, I missed by about a clean 20 feet. So he trotted off, wasn't really that scared, he just slightly trotted off. We watched him go back across another quarter here, so we're set up in this stand. My dad's gonna be set up probably 300 yards away in another stand where we've often had pictures of him, and we're just hoping this is where he typically comes in the evening to feed, so we're just hoping he picks our spot, not my dad's spot, so maybe a little spike or co-op by Jim. But
I should have tomorrow off, the 30th, magical 30th. We shot a lot of deer on the 30th. Taylor got a shot, a chance at that big, huge buck he's been after. Big Louie, and hit a tree. But I got some really good video. Mitch is running video for him. I'm self-videoing tonight, and it's about 2 hours of light left, so we'll see what happens. Stay tuned, guys.
Keith, Jim Thompson joining us now. He's a guy that shot a lot of bucks, and he can be kind of selective, right? And you got to put your time in the Bowzone to be able to do that, right?
Yeah, hey Jim, he's been around the Bowzone for a few years, and he's looking for a certain type of animal just like the rest of us. He's not going to settle for those little ones. He wants a Bowzone giant.
Did we describe that right, Jim?
Yeah, you might be blowing a little bit too much air in my tires, but yeah, I definitely was hoping to get a good one. There was a pretty high bar set this year, but we had a lot of fun. I had my chance. Taylor had his chance, and congratulations, Keith, you got a beauty.
Thanks.
Jim, what's the experience like this time around in Bowzone Live?
Oh, I really, really liked it. And they have kind of a chat that goes around. So there's a lot of entertaining stories and lots of tips. Keith gave a lot of tips and everybody gave a lot of tips and help each other, and they kid each other too. But I really enjoyed it. Actually, the 2 weeks just went by really fast.
Jim, were there any bucks that you saw that you maybe regretted passing up?
That's a good question, eh, Keith?
Yeah, sometimes you look back and you think maybe I shouldn't have.
Yeah, when you end up hanging your tag on the Christmas tree, you look back and there's probably 3 or 4 I would have liked it, Tom. But that's how they get bigger, and that's how my tree gets decorated every year.
Jim, big thank you to you and Taylor. Always appreciate catching up with you and seeing the fantastic footage. Great work, and have a great holiday season, sir.
You too, guys. Thank you very much. Great show. A lot of fun. Take care.
All right. Big thank you to Jim and Taylor Thompson. Now, when we return, Mike Bouchon is going to be someone we catch up with as well, right here on Bowzone Live. Welcome back to Bowzone Live. All right, we've caught up with a bunch of our hunters. Keith, another one we're going to touch base with and find out what he's been up to is Mike Bouchon. Tough start to the week, wound up in the ditch. We saw that. Conditions were tough. But Mike, as we like to say, and we've been talking about today, sticking with that theme of perseverance. What can you say about Mike?
Mike, he's a good guy. He's easygoing guy. We're all talking on the app all the time, joking, having fun. And Mike's kind of the only guy in the Bowzone who probably hangs from a swing.
We've seen pictures of that swing, have we not?
Yeah. So I've never seen it before. I heard about it. Like I thought it was a legend. But right. Yeah, Mike hangs from a swing, and he stands on a platform about this big.
Whatever works.
Good job, Mike.
Let's take a look at what Mike Bouchon's been up to.
Right now, but there is vehicles in the ditch in front of me. And there are vehicles in the ditch behind me. And around 6 o'clock, came around a curve, vehicle in front of me, tapped his brakes. He started sliding. I tried to go around him. I lost traction, just missed his back end, ended up in the ditch, but just on the edge of the shoulder. And there was already a semi flipped over just behind us, and another vehicle went in the ditch. And I put it in 4 low and buried myself down in the bottom of this ditch. So it's not too bad, but there's 19 vehicles in this accident right now. In front of me, I got snacks. Most importantly, I have juice boxes. I got unstuck from the accident. Hang on. Got unstuck. Oh, Jesus, it's still slick. Unstuck from the accident. I got Stony, got gas, made it to Logan's place.
Hi, Mike. It's about time. You're a little late.
Guess we're going to do a midday to afternoon sit.
It's the 25th of November. It's noon now, so I'm up in the stand, going after Daryl. The snow's real crunchy right now, so we got a southwest wind. There's been a few bucks cruising, some big bucks cruising. They're definitely moving around. I'm hoping Daryl's cruising around in here somewhere. Maybe he'll just walk by. I'm gonna try rattling. Each day is getting closer and closer and closer to that opportunity, so fingers crossed. We started wearing this hex stuff this year, and I've had numerous deer at sub 10 yards right below me stare at me, probably should have busted me. Situations they probably would have, but I don't know. They like stare at me and then do the old head bob and then walk off and keep walking. Don't like not speed walk, not jog like John Dog, just back to their normal routine. see something there, they don't register something's actually there. I don't know. I'm a believer, I guess now.
We were really rooting for Mike. Good to see he has a sense of humor about everything, having a few juice boxes as well. We're going to catch up with Daryl Legg. He was in the co-host seat earlier in the season, and that was because he managed to get a buck. But Daryl's out in Strathcona. Tell us why we can have hunters get a buck in the Bowzone and then still go over to Strathcona.
So Strathcona is a different zone. I mean, like I talk about, I don't have a tag myself because I'm treaty, but I know for a fact that the Strathcona area, it's a different zone than the 248, the Edmonton Bowzone, so you can get a second tag for over there. Yeah, and
Okay.
it's just a county tag, I guess, or
The way it works is like that. All right, let's catch up with Daryl Legg one more time.
So I rattled once. I had that buck in less than 2 minutes. Like 30 seconds, actually. I haven't grunted yet, but they're moving. Sit back and see what happens.
So a nice little update there on Daryl Legg. A big thank you to Daryl and all of our hunters, of course. Keith coming up. We're going to touch base again with Zack Brown, Gunther Tondelier, and of course Ryan Kohler. Lots to talk about after Zack's hunt today, so we'll do that plenty more on the way here on Bowzone Live.
Annihilator Broadheads and Scorpion Outdoors present Bowzone Live. Brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads, Scorpion Outdoors, PV Mart, Bronc Beer, Easton, Hoyt Archery, Hex, OK Tire, River Cree Resort and Casino, and Tacticam.
Tom Gazzola, Keith McDonald in the Wild TV studios. And before we get to Zack Brown, Ryan Kohler, and Gunther Tondelier, who we're going to touch base with one more time, we've been keeping tabs on Scott Sterling as well. And Keith, we're going to find out what Scott has been up to late in the season.
Well, I'm a little late to the game here. Actually, a lot late to the game. Spending a lot of time hunting with a friend of mine and got my muley doe tag filled. Then my wife at the beginning of this week had an emergency appendectomy. So I was planning on starting at the beginning of this week, but didn't work out. The first night she was back, we got 3 to 4 millimeters of rain. That was the day that Michael, that you saw the pictures of, when he hit the ditch so he didn't hit anybody else. Well, I decided that it'd be a good idea to step on the first step of my stairs going down to my parking area, and my feet slipped out. First 3 steps I missed, and I made sure I hit every single other one on the way down. And off to the chiropractor that same day, got put back together. here I am. I'm in the tree. So what I like to do in my first area, or my first spot, is range. When you're first sitting down in a new spot and you don't know the yardage, I always range out 20s, 30s, 40s, just specific trees, so I know exactly how far they are away. If they go, off the trail or skirt a scrape or whatever, I have an idea of exactly how far that is. Obviously, practice judging yardage takes practice, and that's something you can do in the off season. But that's a good trick.
Big thank you to Scott Sterling, who's going to unfortunately fold his tag this time around. That sucks, but great footage as always. As we touch base one more time with Zack Brown, Ryan Kohler, and Gunther Tondelier. There they are. I love the backdrop, Keith.
Hey, where are you guys at the Whitetail Hall of Fame right now?
Yeah, we sure are. There's some crankers behind us right now.
Guys, I want to ask this. Some of the highlights that we've seen this year, what stood out to you from what our hunters have been able to do?
I don't know, what do you think, Gun? What's the highlight?
Well, I would think Ryan's deer was pretty awesome. I think there was a lot of highlights. It's been an incredible year. I didn't expect this many hunters to tag out, and it's really been exceptional.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think it could even go this well. I mean, we've got so many great people in the show, and getting opportunities at animals like this it's incredible. It's not realistic, I don't think. I mean, as much as I want to say that Bowzone Live has been an amazing journey for year one and year two, I think the stars aligned perfectly this year for everybody to get shots at such amazing animals. I honestly, I don't know if we could ever do this again. I think this is just one of those years where things just go absolutely perfect, and it was incredible. And a lot of guys scored, a lot of gals too, which is great. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I think just even the warm weather, me being a fair weather hunter, this year having the exceptional warm weather, there's no excuse to not be in a tree stand. So that opportunity to get out there every day is just another perk to having just the stars align, like you say.
Yeah, we hunt in a great place too, right? The Edmonton Bowzone is really, really special. So we have some amazing animals, and we worked really hard to find them. Everybody that was in the show worked really hard to find them. So congratulations to all of them. The crew behind the scenes too that worked their butt off to make this whole thing happen. If you're watching Wild TV right now, thanks guys. That was an amazing job they did. And then everybody that gave, Wild TV or Bowzone Live their hunt time, thank you very much, because we wouldn't have had this show, wouldn't have never happened without that hunt time. So really special.
Well said, Ryan. Absolutely tremendous stuff from all of our hunters, those three gentlemen included, as well as this fantastic hunter right here as well. We'll be back to wrap up the final episode of Season 2 of Bowzone Live. Tom Gazzola, Keith McDonald here in the Wild TV studios. One last time for Season 2. We're also touching base one last time with the crew over at the Whitetail Hall of Fame, a.k.a. Gunther Tondeliers. Ryan Kohler alongside Gunther and Zack Brown. What's coming up next for you, Keith? Because I know you and Ryan are still working on a couple of projects. What do you guys want to tell us about those?
Well, me and Ryan have been going to Saskatchewan. We went there this year once already, and this footage was last week. I actually got a buck over there.
Nice, yes.
So we're going to go back, and they've been working real hard over there at Blue Thunder Outfitters. Thanks a lot, boys. So they're trying to find Ryan a big deer. So Ryan bought a tag already. He doesn't want to fold that one. So as soon as we're done here, he wanted to pick me up from the studio today and go, and I'm like, no, I need to rest. So we're going to head over there to Blue Thunder Outfitters out in Pierceland area, and hopefully Ryan can wrap his tag over there on another big one.
Ryan, it's been an exceptional season, like you mentioned in the last segment. This show is something you've been thinking about and wanting to do for a long time. How has it evolved and how has it gone in your eyes?
Well, actually, since 30 years ago, I think I thought of making this show because I used to watch Real Tree Outdoors on TNN or Spike TV. I don't know if I just aged myself there, I think, pretty good. But those guys used to have a crew of people they go hunting with. You get to watch all the characters. And that's where this idea came from. And that came before Wild TV. So it took 20 years for this idea to really develop into something that's real. So now we're on year 2, and it's turned into something I couldn't even imagine. It's totally amazing, amazing people. And like Keith was saying, I'm working on a really cool project to try to show the difference between Alberta and Saskatchewan, the whitetails, the animals there, how people hunt, why they do it, and all the differences between the two things. So I'm going to have an hour special on how to hunt, just on that topic, which will be really interesting. So I'm going to go back. It'll be fun. But this is a real joy to be part of. It's something I wanted to do when I was, really, really young. And with Gunther, hunting his kids in the Edmonton Bowzone, trying to get enough gas money to put in a car to go to like 20 minutes away, or 10 minutes away from Edmonton at that time to try and shoot a whitetail. So just a dream to make this content and this program for everybody. I hope everybody loved it, and next year we're going to try and do it again.
Ryan, a big thank you to you, Gunther Tondelier, and of course Zack Brown. Absolutely fantastic stuff. A great season, Keith. Overall,
Yeah.
all of
Awesome.
you did just tremendous work, filming your own stuff, getting the bucks that you guys did, and then joining us here in studio. Can't thank you enough. You know what? I'm going to leave the final word with you. This experience being here, what was it like?
Well, anybody who's sat in a tree stand and tried to hunt these whitetails knows that it's hard.
Yeah.
And now try add a camera into that, and it makes it harder. So my hat's off to all of those ones who got it on camera. I mean, I didn't get the kill on camera because I know mine happened so fast. I just wanted to say hats off to those of you who did get it on the camera. Good work.
Absolutely well said, Keith McDonald. A big thank you. Reiterate that to all our hunters, all of our viewers, from all of us here at Bowzone Live. Thank you for tuning in to Season 2. That's the end of the show. Look forward to next year. We'll do it all over again.
Annihilator Broadheads and Scorpion Outdoors present Bowzone Live. Brought to you by Annihilator Broadheads, Scorpion Outdoors, PV Mart, Bronc Beer, Easton, Hoyt Archery, Hex, OK Tire, River Cree Resort and Casino, and Tacticam.
Giant buck of a lifetime.
We found Ricky. Wow.
Just totally blessed to be hunting in the Edmonton Bowzone.
Buck down, baby.
I nailed him right behind the shoulder. This beautiful buck.
That's a big, dark, heavy 4x4.
I just shot a buck. Oh, he's gorgeous. He's a beautiful buck.
Oh man, I can't believe it. I just shot Myron.
There's some years where a deer just means a lot. This deer means a lot to me.
Bowzone Live, right at you. This is it, man. This is what we do it for.
What a buck. Wow.